Hi everybody. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas and a wonderful New Year. I'm so sorry I missed last week. We had a lot going on as a family and there were some other things too. But this week we will be doing a double lesson. So I hope you didn't miss too much last week with the holidays. But I wanted to wish both you and your family a wonderful belated Christmas and a very, very happy New Year. And I hope we never have to speak of 2020 ever again. This year, 2021, is going to be our year. I can feel it. And hopefully this means it's the year that we can get back to in-person teaching because I miss all of you so much. So while we get into it, I'll be reading 2 stories today, and we'll be looking at 2 different lessons. Both of them are related. So the first one, if you look on your lesson, is number 5. It's called Follow That Star. Kind of like my light looks like a star right now. Did you guys see the stars? Did you see the big celestial event that happened last week where they had the 2 planets that came really close together? It's something that hasn't happened and won't happen again for hundreds and hundreds of years. So I hope you had the opportunity to look at those 2 very bright things. A lot of people were likening it to the Christmas star. So that's kind of cool. But the first one, like I said, follow that star. It's very appropriate. It starts, in the time of King Herod, after Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, wise men from the east came to Jerusalem asking, "Where is this child who has been born King of the Jews? For we observed his star at its rising and have come to pay him homage." When King Herod heard of this, he was frightened, and all Jerusalem with him. And calling together all the chief priests and scribes of the people, he inquired them where the Messiah was to be born. They told him, "In Bethlehem of Judea, for so it has been written by the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah. For from you shall come a ruler who is to shepherd my people Israel." Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. Then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child. When you have found him, bring me word so that I may also pay him homage." When they had heard the king, they set out, and there ahead of them went the star that they had seen at its rising, until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy. On entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother, and they knelt down and paid him homage. Then opening their treasure chests, they offered him gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, they left for their own country by another road. So in the lesson here, this front page just gives you a summary kind of about what we just read. On the next page, it's an activity called Catch the Falling Stars. And what they want you to do is to draw a line from each of these stars in the order of the Bible verses. And then on this side, follow that star, kind of what we have been talking about. It's a maze. And what you want to do is start here, just like the wise men did, and follow this maze all the way through, collecting stars as you go until you get to Bethlehem. And then on the back of this one, the past couple of weeks we've been talking about different types of Christmases around the world. So this week we talk about Ethiopia. They're a little bit different. So Ethiopian Christians, they celebrate the birth of Jesus on January 7th. So that's this week instead of last week. The Orthodox Church calls this day Gana, which means birth in Greek. And in the early morning, people dress in white shamas, which are thin white striped clothes. They look like this. You can see it in the picture. And they all go to church and they play games. And then on January 19th, they celebrate Jesus' baptism. And they call that Timkat. So something to do, if you guys are still stuck at home, we haven't tried this yet, But it's a recipe for how to make scented ornaments using applesauce and some glue and some other ingredients. They smell so good. I remember we made them last year. So I'd love to see some finished products, and hopefully we can bring them back once we're in person again. So after that, so now Jesus is born, and the next few lessons we're going to focus on Jesus' life and what he did. So on this one, we move on to lesson 6 called Look Who's Coming. And we'll read that story. Jesus grew up and became wise and strong, so he wasn't a baby anymore. God blessed him and people were pleased with him. Jesus' work of preaching, teaching, and healing among the people was known as good news. It all began just as it was written by the prophet Isaiah. Look, I am sending my messenger before you. He will prepare your way, a voice shouting in the wilderness. Prepare the way for the Lord. Make his path straight. John the Baptist was in the wilderness calling for people to be baptized to show that they were changing their hearts and lives and wanted God to forgive their sins. Everyone in Judea and all the people of Jerusalem went out to the Jordan River and were being baptized by John as they confessed their sins. John wore clothes made of camel's hair with a leather belt around his waist. He ate locusts with wild honey. Blech. He announced, "One stronger than I am is coming after me. I'm not even worthy to bend over and loosen the strap of his sandals. I baptize you with water, but he will baptize you with the Holy Spirit." About that time, Jesus came from Nazareth of Galilee, and John baptized him in the Jordan River. While he was coming up out of the water, Jesus saw heaven splitting open and the Spirit, like a dove, coming down on him. And there was a voice from heaven, "You are my Son, whom I dearly love. In you I find happiness." This was the beginning of Jesus' ministry. John had prepared the way. Now Jesus would go out and share the good news of God's love and forgiveness for all people. So there's one thing that's common in a lot of baptisms. Can you guess what it is? It's water. So on this page, you follow the order of all the little water drops to summarize what we had just talked about. And then on the inside, there's a couple activities that you can do that represent water. We use water every day. So not only do we do baptisms with it, but there's a lot of other things we can do. So once you read the paragraphs up here, it wants you to draw a circle using a green crayon. How do you use water to be healthy? Using a blue crayon, you can draw a square around what it's like to clean with water. So you drink water, you clean with water, and then what else do you do? You drink water. You can also make food with it. So what you want to do here is think about, well, how have you used water today? And draw a red heart around all of those pictures. I know for me, let's see what I've done. I've definitely washed dishes. I've washed my hands. I've drank water out of the faucet. I brushed my teeth. I haven't cleaned with water yet today, but shh, don't tell my kids. The second one on here is to start at the star, and you can follow all of these words around. So there is a Bible passage in each of these words, and if you follow it in order, it's kind of like connect the dots, if you've played that before. Well, now here you're connecting the words, and then when you're done, you can color in the picture. So once you're baptized, it's like starting over new, and what better way to talk about it than today? We've started a new year. We're already on January 2nd. Can you believe it? So what you want to do is think about, how do you start the world new? What are you thankful for? Did you set any resolutions this year? How can we remember ways to be thankful? So take a look at some of these activities on the back, and you can take this one or you can make your own, and think about, what can we be thankful for and what can we be blessed with this year? Certainly a lot has changed, and hopefully a lot will change. And with that, I am going to wish you all a very, very wonderful week, and I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.